We are back. It is time for another Dawn and Julia Create. Dawn has set the challenge. We are talking Galaxy and Sparkle. I can't wait, so shall we jump in and get started? So Dawn set the brief this time and she said that we were to use an MDF kit and the theme was Galaxy. Oh, do you know, I really struggled trying to think of something. I went through all my MDF kits. So we do have a piece of MDF. It was part of a kit, but I'm not using the whole kit. I'm using a shampoo bottle instead because that's normal. So my idea is this is going to be a paint tube, and boy did this shampoo bottle cause me issues. I've had this squirreled away in my stash for years, and finally it's come out to play. And I was just thinking I'll just pop a bit of glue down to sort of distort it. I wanted it to look like crumpled and old, like the paint had been squeezed out of it, but I could not get it to stick. The hot glue was not sticking at all. So I kind of pulled that all off, went back to the drawing board and thought, let's sand it, that'll help. So I sanded it, thinking that a little bit of texture might help. Went back in with the hot glue, and despite kind of trying to hold it and do various things, as soon as I let go, even after I'd waited a while, it just broke apart. It did not want to stick at all. So I kind of realised at this point that I was going to have to go for a gel medium, because gel medium literally sticks anything to anything. And so I put a big globulate of that down the centre spine, and then to hold it in place I used elastic bands to kind of make sure that this would stay in place. We will have an update about that in the video in a little bit, but we don't want to spoil anything. But this was my master plan at this moment in time, that we were just going to hold everything to with elastic bands. It would dry and everything would be perfect. So whilst I left that drying, I decided to just get on and gesso the MDF piece. Now, Dawn will have guessed that I'll have gone white, because she always does. Although she maybe guessed black because we're doing Galaxy, I don't know. But I've actually gone black gesso. Basically, yes, because of the Galaxy. That is why I went black gesso. So we've put a layer of that on that, and then whilst I'm waiting for that to dry, what a stage is going on here, I decided to make some bits and bobs using my paper clay. Now, yes, I probably should have washed my hands and got rid of that black gesso, but I was going to be painting these black once they had dried as well. So this is me sort of forming some very loose paint splatters. That's the plan. And now I'm making a big sausage. So yeah, now I've just taken a great big clump of clay and I'm going to roll that out and shape it into hopefully what will look like paint being squirted out a tube. That's the plan in my head. So I bring in the tube to try and make sure that it would work. It wasn't quite big enough. So I pulled out a little bit more clay to try and bulk that out. And yeah, just sort of wrapped it around and tried my best to fit it. Now, paper clay isn't as easy to sort of blend together. I possibly could have, but you know, I really couldn't be bothered. I was just I was just doing this quick and easy, and I was knowing that there was going to be a whole load of nonsense being put on this once it was dry, so I just left it. So this, believe it or not, was 24 hours later. So we come back in and the paper clay is all dry. So as I said, I'd planned to gesso this black. To be honest, I slightly regretted that. I was a bit later. I kind of wished I'd gone white. I think it would have been easier to go white and get the bright colours and then put the black on. But it was the decision that I made in the moment, and the project still kind of worked. But yes, so we painted everything black, including our fingers. And when all of that was drying, it was time to unveil my master plan and see if it had worked. And nope. I think it would have worked, but the gel medium still was not dry, and I had to get this video done by a certain amount of time frame. So I just sort of cleaned that gel medium. The positives are is because this bottle had been held in that position by the elastic bands for so long, it kind of formed that shape anyway. So I was thinking it's kind of the shape I want, so it's okay. So I decided to gesso this white, but there was quite a lot of gunky, uneven surfaces because of the glue that had been scraped on and off, and I wasn't quite sure how I was going to deal with that. But in the end, I decided, see what I mean? It's just a bit kind of meh. it wasn't going to be a good look. But I decided if I just flip the bottle over, that would work. So it's not quite the shape I'd intended, but it works. So I'm pulling out my Shuttle Art paint. This is a new purchase that I got for when I did the faraway tree video. Great paint, I have to say, I do love it. There will be a proper review coming at some point soon, but I do like to kind of give my products a thorough testing before I start doing the review. But anyway, we pull out various colours of these, and look at this. This is cheap budget paint, and one coat of this silver paint, and look at the coverage. I mean, normally when it comes to metallic paint, especially for a cheap brand, you need coats and coats for it to have any form of colour. But literally, after one layer, it looks really good. So shout out to Shuttle Art Paint for that. That's quite impressive. So now we're going to I'm not going to say what that actually looks like. In context, it looks like paint. Not in context, it looks like something else. But at least we're not painting it brown. We are actually going for a galaxy effect. So this is where I am bringing my galaxy theme in. I am wanting to create galaxy paint. Wouldn't it be cool if galaxy paint actually existed? Although maybe not, because I enjoy painting galaxies and that would maybe take the fun away. But yeah, so I am doing my usual, using some nice bright blues, nice bright pinks, some kind of aquamarines, and then coming in with black at the edge. And I also did the little paint splatters as well, but I was trying to make one look sort of like a blue galaxy, one like a pink, and one like a green. Then I moved on to painting the bottle, and I actually think the galaxy was easier to produce and looked nicer on the white, which is why I kind of wished that I had left the paper clay elements white and then painted them. But you know, I didn't, so we just work with what we've got. So again, I am starting off with the bright colours and then moving out into having the darker colours around the edges to really help the kind of galaxy effect pop. Once all of those are dry, you can see I've already sort of dotted the paper clay bits, and now it was time to dot the bottle. So all of these dots really just do help to add to that galaxy feel. It suddenly starts looking like a galaxy instead of a mush of messy colours. To make this look more like a tube of paint, I tried to add extra details. This was madness. I can't believe I tried to freehand draw a straight line on a crumpled up bottle. But there we go. So we managed this one fairly successfully. I'm not sure how straight the one at the bottom is, but you know, it's okay. I think it looks okay in situ. The bottle's twisty and bent, so hence that forth, it's deliberate that the line is twisty and bent. I also wanted to identify that this was indeed a galaxy paint, so kind of broke the habit of a lifetime and actually put my handwriting on there. I don't like putting my handwriting on projects, I always feel it ruins it. But anyway, I put it on, and I also did a little bit of silver edging. I'm just highlighting, because I twisted the bottle round, where we kind of cut the cap of the bottle off, that looked a little bit nasty and textured. So I decided to kind of put the paint coming out and onto the bottle. Because let's face it, most of us that paint, the paint ends up everywhere, on the brushes, on the bottles, on everything. So I decided to do that. Now, I'm not sure how this is all going to go, but I decided to use some gel medium and some hot glue to really secure everything together. But the way the bottle didn't stick before, I was quite nervous about this, but it did seem to stick okay, which was just marvellous. And I was also hoping that now that we had almost like a bit more of a tooth, because the bottle had been gessoed, that it would make it easier to stick, and thankfully that worked, because I would have been really stuck if this hadn't got stuck today. I really wouldn't, I don't know what I would have done. Probably pretended pretended it was all stuck together, but it is well and truly stuck there. And then I put the little paint splatter pieces down. I didn't end up using the third one. I think I accidentally put my paint in the wrong place from when I had originally planned it, and so another piece of paint on the other side just didn't look right, so I just left it as was. I thought it looked okay. And then to try and give the actual palette a little bit more interest, I edged that all in silver. And then to hide where the glue had gone, because that kind of like seeped out a little bit, I just went in and painted that in the same galaxy colours, so it actually just looks like the paint. Now this is Dawn's brand new product, Sparkle Paste and Fairy Dust, and seriously, this whole project came to life as this started to go on it. It just gave it the most amazing sparkle. So this is like a thick gel medium, just absolutely jam-packed with glitter and inclusions, and it is just gorgeous. Dawn and I used to buy something kind of very similar to this all the time. We enabled each other quite a lot, and I have to say most of my stash has dried up, so to have some new sort of sparkle placed to play with has been a delight. Been very, very happy about this, and I would highly recommend it. I will put a link in the description box below for this. And another thing that I like, which I didn't think I would ever say, is the fact it's a nice tiny little bottle. Now that might sound counterintuitive because, you know, you want more and more of the product, but I have to say I have thrown away so much of my other brand of sparkle paste because they were bigger bottles, and I kind of feel that this one I am liable to use up before it goes hard. I'm just showing you that I have a selection of destroyed brushes. This is a very destroyed one. I'm not very good at looking after my brushes. I keep telling, every time I buy myself new brushes, I keep telling myself that I'm going to look after them much better, and I never seem to manage to keep that up. So anyway, I took some 2 destroyed brushes because I still wasn't overly happy with the layout of how this was working, and I thought this might fix it, and I do think it did. So I just sort of again tipped the edge of the brush in the black paint so that it looks like it's been dipped in the Galaxy paint, and added a little bit of sparkle to the edge of the brushes as well. And here is the project all done. So we have sort of a fantasy Galaxy paint all on a gorgeous paint palette. It feels so good to be back. I've had an absolute blast and I love what I made. This was so much fun. And I finally used that shampoo bottle that I've honestly hoarded for years. So that feels good that it's out my stash and now in a gorgeous arty project as it was intended. Please do pop across and see the lovely Dawn. She is amazing when it comes to mixed media, and I know she'll have knocked it out the park. I'll be popping across there right now to see what she has done with these particular prompts. If you love mixed media and you love Galaxy themed creations, you may enjoy these next couple of videos. Take care, and I will see you guys next Friday. Bye.